Inject that song directly into my veins. It's the Yoffs. This is the PHNX D-backs pregame show. My name is Derek Montilla, occasionally known as Mayor PHNX, and in the postseason, this man next to me continues to generate all of the electricity. Let's go. This is Shawn DePaz, aka Mr. Electric himself, and of course, we are your home for all PHNX or for all D-backs pregame coverage, postgame coverage. We're the place to be right here.
Yes, sir,
and we're glad to have you with us. Of course, the Diamondbacks are a wagon, and this wagon continues to roll. But can it stay on a roll? And when I say that, I mean the offense specifically that this Diamondbacks team has been able to generate so far in the playoffs, because it does still seem unbelievable to me. I'm still just kind of soaking it in, soaking the numbers in. 28 hits so far in their first three games of the playoffs, 22 runs scored in the first three games of the playoffs. And I know a lot of that obviously was in game one against the Dodgers. Half of it was, in fact, and I'm just going to revel in saying that as well. 11 games or 11 runs scored in game one. But I mean, can the Diamondbacks actually, can they expect to stay on this kind of roll? I mean, obviously we know that they have used different paths to winning this year, and this is almost new to us, where the offense really is handling things, so handedly.
Yeah. I mean, you ask, can they expect to stay on a roll like this? Absolutely not. No. But expect the unexpected. It's the fucking Yoffs.
I don't understand what's happening.
Anything's possible right now. I mean, no, like, right. If you had told me that the Diamondbacks were in the NLDS, or even if they had won game one of the NLDS, I never would have thought it looked anything like this.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I didn't never think that it was impossible, but I just didn't think it would. Again, I didn't think it was like this.
Right.
The offense being this high powered is a pleasant surprise. I don't know that it's exactly sustainable, like I was kind of getting at, but
I have one thing though.
Cares?
The one thing that is that you have consistency coming from folks like Corbin Carroll. Yeah, obviously, we know 100%. Corbin Carroll's doing it, but we also have had big performances so far from different sources. Right, Walker was 3 for 4 in one of the games with 2 RBI. That was in game one versus the Brewers. Tommy Pham, the big hero of the first game against the Dodgers, he was 3 for 4. And again, Tommy Pham, even though he was 3 for 4, he didn't score, or he didn't drive in a lot of runs. It was just him being on base and the rest of the guys kind of doing their thing, score a lot of runs. And that's the thing that's encouraging. That's the thing that makes it feel a bit more sustainable than it just kind of being a fluke, is the fact that we do know the Diamondbacks have guys on this team that can generate offense. We do know what a threat Christian Walker can be, but we also know that Christian Walker was struggling at the end of the season. We know everybody on this team has struggled at times offensively, but it just feels like things are coming together where this team really is picking each other up, and of course, like I said, you do have Corbin Carroll, who has just absolutely emerged as the tone setter. Carroll right now is hitting 500 so far in the Yoffs.
It's the fucking Yoffs, dude.
That's
that's freaky. That's disgusting. I mean, yes, it's a small sample size, but I don't care about that. We don't care about logic around here without Jesse here. Yes. You can't argue that Clayton Kershaw was our hero of last game, because definitely wasn't the Dodgers hero. As in, we had Zac Gallen from Jimmy Eat World wearing a Dodgers hat, or not, excuse me, he would never wear a Dodgers hat. He was wearing a purple Diamondbacks hat, the old school throwback, at Disneyland today. And apparently Dodgers fans refused to look him in the eye. And I know that that's the case. But of course, I don't know. Can they keep the offense rolling against Bobby Miller tonight? And Bobby Miller has been a good, rookie for the Dodgers, but the Diamondbacks really have been able to kind of get to young guys, especially, I think Elizabeth said it in the chat, with the creating chaos on the base path, and really, kind of giving young Bobby Miller a lot to handle. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would have felt different about this game had game one gone differently, but I feel like now there's so much pressure on
the Los Angeles Dodgers and on Miller specifically.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be very tough for a young guy to deal with. I mean, the Diamondbacks have had the fortune of not really having any pressure on them at all up until this, or so far in the postseason. As far as having pressure in the postseason goes, right? Like there's still a lot of pressure, obviously, but
when does that get applied? Not to get you off track, but I mean, like, when does that change for the Diamondbacks? Because I just feel like the deeper they go, the less they have no business being there. So the more it's just kind of like, hey,
I feel like it doesn't ever change. Maybe if they get to the World Series, then it changes. But like, I feel like if I mean, we've got to see what goes on in this Phillies Braves series. But
for sure,
if the Phillies continue, if they manage to win this game and they go up 2-0 and they just continue to be what they are, like, everyone's gonna look at that Phillies team and be like, "Oh,
they're gonna steamroll the D-backs,
right?"
Yeah.
And so it's not gonna be any pressure on them in that situation. I think the same would kind of apply for the Braves because they're supposed to be the best team in the National League.
Well, I feel that way about the Diamondbacks, no matter who they face, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying, right? Like, it's no pressure. There's never gonna be any pressure on them. Until there is,
and then they're going to wake up and be in the World Series.
Yeah, and then it's going to be like, oh damn,
and it's going to be the weight of the world. But of course, speaking of the mound, we have Bobby Miller going up against the most laid back member of the Arizona Diamondbacks starting staff. That'd be Zac Gallen. Zac Gallen on the mound is a good thing for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He was good, obviously, in Game 2 against the Brewers. He secured the series victory, going 6 innings, giving up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 4K. I said that afterwards we would most likely hear Gallen say he didn't have his best stuff, but much to my surprise, he sounded like he did have his best stuff. And I mean, of course, you have to bring your best stuff to when it comes to the playoffs and the postseason. And here's do we have a comparison between Bobby Miller and Zac Gallen? Yeah, this is where these two guys line up. And as you can see, considering that Zac Gallen was the talk of the Cy Young race at times, you got to applaud what Miller has been able to do this season as a rookie for the Los Angeles Dodgers, especially a team that needed starting pitching so desperately with everything that they've gone through.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know exactly how many innings Miller's pitched, but I'm assuming based on the strikeout numbers and the win-loss that it's a decent amount less than Zac Gallen. So you have to take that into consideration. But yeah, I mean, Jesse made this point Saturday night that if Bobby Miller was a member of the Diamondbacks, this is a guy that we would be talking about being right up there with Zac Gallen and Merrill Kelly. So
wouldn't even be third in the rotation. It would be 1C.
Yeah,
it would be 1A, 1B, 1C.
I mean, honestly, you have to wonder if this guy probably should have started Game 1, right? Like, how much of Kershaw starting Game 1 was because he's Clayton Kershaw, and
because he's
Clayton Kershaw had a terrific season in his own right too, but still, like, just purely on numbers, you have to wonder if Bobby Miller would have been that guy. So it is certainly like it's a hell of a pitching matchup. Like it's not going to be easy for the Diamondbacks. It's certainly going to be harder than it was on Saturday.
Yeah.
I mean, again, not that I ever expected it going into Saturday, but I think knocking the pitcher out in the first inning is going to be a little bit out of the picture, out of the question. But again,
can't hope for that every night.
Yeah,
right.
Bobby Miller pitched 124.1 innings this year to Zac Gallen's 210.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Zac Gallen put in that work this year.
None of them were in the postseason. So.
You brought up something that just made me think about this, and I don't mean to attack Mad Bum again unnecessarily, but I will say, like, that might have been a problem if Mad Bum stayed on this roster, right? Especially considering his postseason track record, that you just feel obligated to start him in that situation because he's Mad Bum in the postseason versus it potentially being just your best option. And that's one of the benefits to the Diamondbacks kind of proceeding the way they did this year 100%. Was you really do feel like they are putting the best guys that they can out there on the field, out there on the mound, that give them a chance to win baseball games. So far, what that has led to is to them having a 1-game advantage over the Los Angeles Dodgers currently in the NLDS. So you can't argue with any of those moves that were made up to this point. But again, that is something that that Torey Lovullo would have had to struggle with if Gallen was still part of the starting rotation, right?
The worst part of the
Mad Bum.
Yeah, the Mad Bum thing would be is that, like, he 100% would have gone 1-2-3 first inning, and we would have lost our minds. Then, it's playoff Mad Bum. None of that other shit mattered. And then he would have gotten rocked in the second inning.
Yeah, it would have been something like that. But of course, Zac Gallen on the road isn't guaranteed. I gave you his numbers from the first game of the season of the playoffs that he's pitched, but he does have a 4.42 ERA on the road with a 1.204 WHIP this season. But I don't care about any of that because if Merrill Kelly can snap his winless streak against the Dodgers in NLDS like this and have such a great night, numbers be damned.
Yeah,
the numbers are the numbers,
it's the
but
fucking yoffs,
it's
dude.
the fucking
like
yoffs.
nothing matters.
It's
Expect
different
the
here.
unexpected. All rules are off. Like it. I mean, you saw yesterday. I mean, or on Saturday. To a certain extent, it was exactly what you expected in the sense that Kershaw's not a good postseason pitcher. But also, again, no one expected that offensive outburst. Like you really just don't know. You don't know how the circumstances are going to affect guys. There's obviously, like I was talking about, a unique amount of pressure on the Dodgers tonight. Like it, I don't know. I don't think if you think you know what's going to happen in this game,
you don't.
You don't.
You're already wrong. But
you're already wrong.
We thank you, regardless if you're right or wrong, for being here right now in the PHNX Sports YouTube. About being here right now. That was a correct decision. We thank you for being here in the PHNX Sports YouTube channel. Make sure to sign up for notifications, subscribe to the channel, do all of that. Leave us a thumbs up. I think the comment there says each like equals a D-backs run tonight. That is true. That is factual. Also, get yourself the wagon shirt if you haven't gotten that wagon shirt yet. If you are a diehard member, you get 20% off over at the phnxlocker.com. So check that out. Also, shout out to our audio podcasting side. I don't want to forget them as well. Thank you guys. Make sure to subscribe there. Leave us a review. We always appreciate the feedback as well. But
I like the audio listeners because I like to think that they think I look better than I do.
Yeah.
They don't really know. There's no bad hair days on audio.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. Like, yeah.
You always have a good fit on audio.
I'm 12 pounds lighter on audio, you know? I love that. But of course, get yourself that wagon shirt. If you haven't signed up for a diehard membership, you can get one and you'll get that wagon shirt for free, or any shirt that you want from the phnxlocker.com. You also get 20% off all future purchases. You get deals from our sponsors. You get all sorts of wonderful stuff. You get access to our members only Discord lounge, which is worth the price of admission alone. You get all of Jesse's wonderful content, as well as everything we have going on around here. And again, exclusive merchandise, exclusive invites to events, discounts on events, and so much more. So join us today. Become part of the PHNX family. Well, I know we don't have a lot of time, and I know that normally on Mondays we're not busy doing pregame and postgame shows for the playoffs, but it's the motherfucking yoffs. So we're just going to do this really quickly. But of course, every month on this show, Black History Month. Every month on this show is Women's History Month. Every month on this show, Black Women's History Month. Every week is Shark Week. Every day is Earth Day.
Wait. It's Indigenous Peoples Day today.
It's every day. Every day. It's not just today, Damon. Every day is Indigenous Peoples Day.
I just wanted to make sure.
No, you're absolutely right. But every day we celebrate everybody's everything on every single one of these episodes. And of course, every day is Indigenous Peoples Day. But of course, it's Monday. And you know what we do on Monday? We go to the mailbag.
My mailbox, always something interesting in my mailbox. I try to get to everything in my mailbox. And then once in a while, there's a letter that makes me go, wow, my mailbox.
All right, David, what we got? We got to go short. So what do we got? We got a couple in the mailbag. First one comes from Michael Rokicki. And Michael asks, which home run from Saturday was your favorite?
It's tough.
It's like picking your favorite child, right?
I feel like it's got to be Gabby.
It has to be Gabby.
But like also, but also Corbin pissed on that one home run. Like he fucking launched that.
They were all so fucking cool.
Oh my God.
Awesome. Tommy Phams with Gordon Hayward, or not Gordon Hayward.
Gordon Hayward, holy.
You know what I'm talking about. Ran into the fucking wall. Like they were all great in their own way.
Yeah, but
they really are like children. But I mean, it's Gabby.
Yeah, it's Gabby, right? It's Gabby because of the bat flip. The bat flip was
because it's Gabby, dog,
and it's because it's Gabby. It's absolutely Gabby.
It's Daddy Gabby.
But Josh is absolutely right. Alec Thomas's 14-pitch masterpiece. Like that's the one thing.
The most like
Alec Thomas literally like
pure art.
Made franchise history with his home run.
Yeah, that home run was the ballet. It was the opera.
It was. It's fine art.
It's not as flashy as going to going to the Drake concert.
Hang in the Oval Office. We still doing that?
It's not the same as going to a Drake concert, but if you're in the right state of mind to really appreciate it, it's a work of art. It's beautiful.
Yeah, there's no wrong answer when it comes to that, though. But what else we got? Speaking of Josh Hunt, we got one from Josh. What's Josh's question? Josh asked us. Josh asked us. Would love to hear your opinions on the complaints about the bye week from the newer playoff format. Oh, brother, you came to the right place for that. It seems like the complaints boil down to the team with the best regular season record should always win. Exactly, Josh. Exactly. Oh, you got extra time off and you couldn't get your shit together? You couldn't get all your shit together in a bag? Maybe put it in a backpack and take it somewhere? I don't know where. Maybe the shit museum. I don't know. You didn't get your shit together, though, in time to face a team that's on a roll. I will say we've acknowledged this, though, right?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
It's baseball. And it does suck, but I don't know what the answer would be otherwise.
Well, I mean, I want to acknowledge that I have been on record, I feel like, saying that I prefer the old playoff format, I guess.
Now, game 163?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like and like just the one-off wild card was electric. I do obviously have to acknowledge that the Arizona Diamondbacks are explicitly benefiting from both the third wild card spot and apparently the layoff for the Dodgers.
Sure.
But in theory, I like the old playoff format, but I live in the real world. So sorry about it. Sucks to suck.
I'll say this, the Diamondbacks, it should be impacting the Diamondbacks negatively because this team has kind of some, issues when it comes to starting pitching.
Yes.
They don't really have the depth that you would think other, teams have, but that's more of a regular season problem. That's not a playoffs problem. That's not fucking what we do in the yoffs.
Just win the games.
Well, I'm saying like the Diamondbacks, right? They can go to a 3-man rotation. Like a 5-man starting rotation is a regular season problem. Now when we're in the yoffs, all bets are off. They can do whatever they want when it comes to those kind of things, those shortcomings that they've had in the past because they have two incredible pitchers, two guys who are absolutely ready to go and get the ball as soon as possible for this team in every scenario.
And the reality is that like it's not like the best team or the team with the best record was winning the World Series all the time before they changed the format either. Like that's
fair too.
It really,
that's fair.
Ultimately, I don't think matters. Like I think the team that's going to win the World Series is ultimately going to win the World Series, and that's not necessarily the best team. It's just the team just the team that's going to win the World Series.
I mean, it happens a lot, right? I mean, we've said it in the past quite a bit about teams that just kind of catch fire at the end of the season. And yeah, they weren't the best team in baseball, but they got it going at the right time. I don't know. Is the answer to just go to like the same type of format that other sports have where the 1 seed still plays in the first round and they just play an 8 seed or like a lower seed?
You can,
obviously
you can make that argument, and I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that.
Because it still would have been Dodgers it would have been Braves D-backs essentially.
Yeah, then it's like, what's the point of winning?
What's the point of having a 162 game season? I fucking don't know. That's a whole other topic that we could get into, right?
Yeah, like it's just kind of like at that point, all you got to do is win the division. You aren't really competing for. Well, no, because you still want home field advantage throughout the postseason. So, like, I don't really see a problem with it.
Yeah. My preferred format, and you kind of touched on it earlier, Shawn, is whatever benefits my team at that time.
Yeah, well, that's true.
So I'm a huge
I think
proponent
the postseason should be over.
Yeah,
I think the team that beats the Dodgers the most should win the World Series in the postseason, and so we should stop the count, and the Diamondbacks are World Series champions.
There you go. That's the most reasonable answer here. So
the Diamondbacks are the only team that can make the playoffs.
That's what we want to go with. Yep. All right. What do we got? We got one more from Elizabeth. I'm sorry, Elizabeth, because Elizabeth just asked, why not us?
Literally, why not?
Why
I can't think of a single valid reason.
I didn't see this when I said that before the show.
Yeah.
That was completely genuine.
Oh, really?
And me and Elizabeth are just on the exact same wavelength.
Well, you are the people's producer, so that's not surprising to me at all.
I feel like we're all asking it.
Yeah.
Because, like, why? Literally, I have been struggling to find a reason why.
No, but like, why?
Why not us?
Why not?
I don't know. We're just some dudes. We're just some dudes playing ball, right? They're just some dudes playing ball. Who says you got to hit a fucking? Got to throw a ball and then hit it with a stick. Anybody can win that kind of scenario. I don't know. It is the offs, and I mean, the one thing that we've talked about, obviously, a lot about the playoffs is the fact that it really can be anybody as far as who becomes that postseason hero. It's usually the guy hitting 217. It's usually the guy that struggled at the plate all season long that gets that big hit in the key moment. And it feels right now like the Diamondbacks are a group comprised of that, a group comprised of guys that, it's not to say they haven't been good all year, but it's a group of guys that at any point, any of them could be the hero of any scenario. So why not us?
Literally, why not?
Don't have an answer to that because why not us? All right.
26 dudes playing a game. Why not?
That's exactly
Why
what
the
it
hell
comes.
not?
That's what it comes down
Why
to.
the hell not?
Anyway, we got some betting tips for you. I'm going to try to win you guys some money tonight. All right, and we're going to try to do this and without the game impacting us or without the wins and losses impacting us as much as possible. I am smashing the over when it comes to runs tonight. It was 8.5 runs. We know that the Diamondbacks will get that on their own based on what we saw in the first game. I'm also doing batters struck out. I'm giving Bobby Miller 3+. I'm giving Zac Gallen 5+.
Love it.
And then Corbin Carroll, 1 hit, 1+. That's all I'm asking for. You can get plus 625 on this, and a $5 bet is still going to win you some money. It's a low risk bet. And honestly, this feels like fairly solid. I know it's fun to throw. You can throw a home run in there too if you want to. You can do whatever you want over at the BetMGM Sportsbook app. But I will say that I'm liking this one. This one I'm feeling confident.
Which somehow in game 1 you had a home run in it, and it was like one of the only guys who didn't.
The only guy that didn't hit a home run.
And he hit it like 110 off the bat. Yeah. It was 5 feet from a home run.
And he didn't get enough ABs against Kershaw. That's the problem. Had Kershaw stayed in the game longer, Christian Walker would have cashed that bet. I know that. But
I got a good bet for tonight.
What do you got?
Geraldo Perdomo plus money to get a hit. He was hitless in the last game. I think he's due.
He was hitless in a game when everyone had hits?
Correct.
Let's go.
Then he's due.
Do that one too.
I like
Get on it over at the BetMGM Sportsbook app. Use our code of PHNX. Well, it is almost time for Diamondbacks, Dodgers. Do we want to give predictions again for tonight's game? I mean, do you want to bet?
I think the Diamondbacks are going to lose.
There you go.
I think they're.
A trillion runs to 1 run.
No, I think it'll be like 8-3. I think the Diamondbacks get handled. It's the Dodgers after all.
I'm going to go in the other direction since that's what we did last time. Should I just make it 6-3 again? 6-3 again. Yeah. Why not? Because that'll cash that bet. But of course, we are looking forward to this one.
Baby.
This one's.
I honestly can't say I've ever been looking forward to a game against the Dodgers more because I've never seen anything like
Kershaw.
What happened last time.
Kershaw fell apart. He deserved every single one of Josh Hunt's attacking comments and jokes early on in this. I think he said at one point that he can't be around his child because he's a choking hazard.
Yeah, that's a bar.
That's a bar. But again, you're right though. It's going to be interesting to see, and I don't. There's no way to not attack Kershaw with saying this, but without Kershaw just completely shitting the bed like he did, without the Dodgers just being so behind, from the get-go, that had to have been demoralizing. That had to have been hard to overcome. I mean, I know they were trying to do their little train stuff with David Peralta, whatever, get out of here with that. But I will say that it's going to be exciting to see what the outcome is tonight. And of course, we will be back here after the show, 10 minutes after the final out for our post-game show. So make sure to tune in. I'm going to get all mushy later, so make sure to be here for that. But we do appreciate you guys being here right now. And of course, let's go watch the Diamondbacks take game 2. And put that foot on the neck of the Dodgers. Let's absolutely no mercy. Let's go for the jugular. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm at Cap_Caveman with a K. This man is at Sean_DePaz. The People's producer Damon. He's at Damon Dog. That's DAWG. I was trying to throw an underscore in there. No underscore. It's just a W. You figure out where the W goes. But of course, we are Damon's dogs. Our show is at PHNX D-backs, but all roads do lead to at PHNX_sports on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Again, we'll be back here for the post-game show to make sure join us for that. And in the meantime, we thank you again. Remember, kids, baseball is fun, but it's so much more fun when you can actually beat the goddamn Dodgers.
Yoffs. We all silly like the mayor.